Hey guys, what's up? So welcome to my first ever cooking video. This is totally just for fun. I am not a professional, but today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make eye of round steak with kind of like a tomato gravy with onions and peppers. It's called Swiss steak. So you're going to need some eye of round steak or top round steak. You're going to need 1 red onion. You need 2 bell peppers, some garlic powder, Worcestershire sauce, however you say that, salt, black pepper, and 1 beef bouillon cube. That's kind of optional. You could just use water. You're also going to need some stewed tomatoes or whole tomatoes and some tomato sauce. Okay, so the first thing I do is I start by just cutting up my peppers and onions. And like I said, I'm not a professional, so I just kind of cut them up into little strips and just get it done that way. Now I'm gonna have my onion and then leave that end part on because that's what's really gonna make you cry if you chop that other end part off. So just chop that top part off and then start slicing so it's not as harsh. I use red onion. You can use just regular white onion, but my mom always used red onion. So now I'm just going to cut up my meat, just hoping that it will cook faster this way. Eye of round steak is like really tough, so cooking it for low and slow makes it really soft and tender. So this part I kind of messed up and my hand was in the frame. But basically I am just taking a piece of steak and flipping it front and back in some flour, and this is gonna help thicken up our sauce when it cooks. So that's kind of why I do this step. You can skip it though, some people do. I've seen people skip it. So we're just gonna put a little vegetable oil or olive oil in the pan. I used vegetable oil. It's probably about a tablespoon or so. I'm not really sure. I don't measure anything. So just going to heat that up really nice and hot, and then we're going to place our meat in there and kind of try to spread it out so everything gets a nice sear on it. If you make the pan too crowded, your meat's just going to boil and there's going to be too much moisture in there. So we want to get a nice sear front and back. So once we get a good sear on this front part, we're going to flip it over. Basically, I just say you want to kind of be cooking this until all the white flour is cooked. So you don't see any more white flour in the pan. And then once that's done, you're just going to add your peppers and onions. I like kind of a lot. I really love the flavor that it gives the meat, and I also love to eat them as well as the meat. So I like to put a lot in there, but to each their own. It's all your preference. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with my stewed tomatoes. My mom always used stewed tomatoes, but you can use whole tomatoes if you want. Next to that, I'm going to add my tomato sauce. I just put this 1 can in there because I also put the beef broth in there, which I'd probably put about almost a cup of that. I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce and some salt, some garlic powder, and some fresh cracked pepper. And that's all I'm going to add to it right now. At the end, when everything's cooked and all the flavors are together, I will add anything else if I need it. I'm just going to give that a quick stir, and then we're going to basically kind of want to bring this up to a boil, and then we're going to turn it down and let it simmer for about 2.5 to 3 hours, or until the meat is super tender. Okay, so I just wanted to get back on here and show you guys what it looks like, that it's been cooking for about 2.5 hours. I could let it go a little longer, but I'm kind of impatient and ready to eat. But you can see everything's kind of reduced down. If you wanted to thicken up the sauce a little bit, you could add a little bit of like a cornstarch mixture, but I quite like it like this. So you just want to make sure that it's fork tender and you're ready to eat. My family always eats this with mashed potatoes, but some people even use boiled white rice, and that's really good as well, but this is how I like to eat mine. I know that this probably isn't a meal for everyone, but this is something I grew up eating and I absolutely love, so I hope you guys give it a try and enjoy.